Niche.com is one of my favorite websites to check or to recommend for general overviews of areas, and they rank the top suburbs in 2023 for raising a family in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. They rattled on to cover 25 suburbs, and yes, we have way more than 25 suburbs here because Minneapolis-St. Paul is likely a lot bigger than you may imagine. I'm giving you the top 5 today, and I'm also going to give you 4 honorable mentions because I'm kind of annoyed that they aren't ranked higher.
Whatever, it's how I feel.
And also I find these a little bit more accessible, the ones that are the 4 honorable mentions. Anyway, remember that Niche.com does use data, but they also are a bit subjective because humans can put ratings in there as well. So remember, this is opinion. I'm Mary Schumann, I'm a realtor here, and I've helped people from all over the globe navigate moves to the Twin Cities, and my channel is dedicated to helping you figure out what may work best for you if you're trying to make a similar move. A couple of things that these communities all have in common, and will be no surprise to you, are that the school districts are all consistently ranked highly. Something that people raising families seem to want. So even if you don't have kids, you should want your local schools to do well because A, it helps keep the next generation from being a bunch of knuckle draggers, and B, it will keep your property value high because people with kids or people raising a family want to send them to high quality public schools, and they will pay a lot of money for a home in order to be able to do that. So don't drop off here because the first few has some pretty, what I would consider, privileged price points to get into, and then we move a little bit closer to where most of the population finds itself, and it's a little bit more accessible. So point number 2 about the commonalities is that these areas do all have typically above the median price point for homes in the metro area. So can you find a more affordable place to live in these areas? Yes, in theory you can. I'll let you know what the lowest and highest price point is and give you a little bit of information about the character of the area and what you can expect. Another thing to mention though is that even if you can't afford to live in these areas, Minnesota does have open enrollment, and there is the potential to open enroll into these schools. I did an entire video on that a few years ago, and I will link to that one as well. Okay, so the number 1 suburb according to Niche is Medina, Minnesota. Niche calls Medina a sparse suburban feel, and I would agree with this assessment. It is a 3rd-ring suburb, and it sits on the west side of the city of Minneapolis. If you drive around the area, you're going to see a lot of open space, either larger lots for homes, parks, or even horse properties. Medina itself doesn't have a lot of shopping or things to do. You'll have to drive to a neighboring community for most things, and Plymouth is right next door, and it does have a lot in the way of shopping, restaurants, things to do, etc. So Medina does belong to the Wayzata School District, and that is one of the most highly desired or ranked school districts in the metro area. It is about 35 minutes drive to MSP Airport or 30 minutes to get to downtown Minneapolis. The median home price in Medina is $770,000, but there is a tiny condo there in a 55 plus community, and that is listed at $290,000. So if you need to move an elderly parent nearby, this could be an option. The most expensive homes on the market in Medina right now are custom homes priced around $4.5 million. These homes have between 7,000 and 8,000 square feet, so a lot of house if you have the budget and the need for that kind of space. All right, suburb number 2 is Shoreview, and we're going to jump all the way to the northeast side of the metro, and this is a suburb of St. Paul. The suburb definitely has that bedroom community feel to me. It is mainly homes, either single family or townhouses, and this one is actually way more affordable than Medina. The median price point in Shoreview is $350,000, which is actually less than the median price for a home in the metro area as a whole. We're sitting around $385,000, I think, right now. And this may be the only suburb in the top 5 that comes in at that price point. This is a dense suburban area, so homes are on more kind of standard sized lots. It's close to amenities that you find in Roseville, like Rosedale Mall, and a lot of shopping in that area. But Shoreview itself is pretty low key. They still have those excellent schools, lots of parks. I think the park situation here may go without saying in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. It seems pretty standard to me, but I love them, so I'm going to keep mentioning them. When I looked at listings there was a little condo, 1 bedroom, listed at $140,000, and the lowest priced single family home was $350,000, but that one needed quite a few updates. The most expensive home listed in Shoreview right now is a new build with lakefront access, and always lakefront access means cha-ching, cha-ching. It's listed at $2.75 million. I think if you wanted to live in something that was a single family home and didn't need a bunch of work, you would probably plan to spend somewhere in the 400s here. All right, suburb number 3. Now don't get confused because number 2 was Shoreview. Number 3 is Shorewood, and Shorewood is a whole different ball of wax. It's much smaller, only about 8,000 people live in Shorewood, and it has a rural feel. It sits right on Lake Minnetonka and actually includes a few islands within the lake itself. It does have those A+ schools, and of course, it is priced well above the median for homes in the metro area. The least expensive home in Shorewood is priced at $415,000, and the most expensive was at $2.5 million with lakefront access, but not Lake Minnetonka access. The most desirable lakefront for luxury homes is Lake Minnetonka, but this one sits on nearby Lake Christmas. The median price in Shorewood is $767,500, and one of the best things about Shorewood is probably its easy access to the super charming town of Excelsior. This is a historic downtown, and it's right on Lake Minnetonka. It has a lot of really cute shops and restaurants. It's a nice community to go walk through and browse, spend an afternoon, maybe have a boat ride and then a meal afterward, and I love going over there to kind of poke around. Shorewood is about 30 minutes from either the airport or downtown Minneapolis. All right, number 4 is Deephaven, and this is another small community of about 4,000 people. I'm assuming that most people who choose to live in Deephaven do it for the location because it is another community that is really near Lake Minnetonka, sitting just a little bit north and east of Excelsior. The schools in the area, again, ranked at A+, and this is definitely a small town. The amenities are a beach and access to the lake. That's it. You'd probably go to Excelsior, Plymouth, or Chanhassen for shopping. The least expensive home here is listed at $675,000, and I looked at the pictures. It's lovely. It's been on the market forever, and I can't figure out why it hasn't sold. The highest priced home in this area is listed at $9 million, and it sits right on Lake Minnetonka. It has a wall of windows, and I actually had to give up looking at the pictures because there were so many of them. This house is so large, 9,000 square feet. There were over 100 photos, but the money shots to me were, of course, the photos of the actual lot and the views of the lake from just about any room in that house. The median price in Deephaven is $950,000. Okay, take a deep breath because we are at number 5 and the end of my detailed list, and really our arrival back with the commoners that are looking for a home. And I'm not calling you a commoner if you can't afford $9 million, but probably compared to whoever can buy that $9 million home, you know, we're all commoners. I know there are plenty of common people that would be quite happy to live in Eden Prairie. I have a video about Eden Prairie itself if you want more in-depth information, a look at the houses and that kind of thing, and I will link to that here. Eden Prairie is much bigger. It is much less exclusive than Deephaven and the communities along Lake Minnetonka. It's way more accessible to people in general. Do you still have to have a decent income to afford to live there? Yes, you do. But it doesn't need to be up in the stratosphere. Eden Prairie is home to 65,000 people, so it is a big suburb and has all the amenities to go along with that. Tons of shopping and, hey, a Costco. That's how you know you're big time, right? It has lots of parks and it has really nice homes in just one neighborhood after another. This is another area with those A+ schools, and it has about the same commute to downtown or the airport as the others out this way. That means roughly 30 minutes. Home prices here have a pretty wide range. There is a tiny condo on the market. It's about 850 square feet and it's listed for $150,000. There's a 2-bedroom starter home advertising an opportunity to build equity, and what that means in realtor speak is it needs work. That one's listed for $370,000, and the most expensive listing right now in Eden Prairie is $3.2 million for a 7,200 square foot home in a gated community on a golf course. Gated communities are not the norm here, so this is unusual, but the person that buys this will still be, a commoner compared to the person that buys that $9 million house. The median home price in Eden Prairie is $460,000. I think if you're looking for a home, Eden Prairie is a location that holds value over time. I went on a bus tour with the mayor and urban planner and some other agents this spring, and it was really fun to hear, their ongoing plans that the city has, and to see the new light rail station that they put in, the development that's happening all around that light rail station to make people in the burbs a little bit less car dependent. They're putting in condos and restaurants and that type of thing all around the station. Eden Prairie does not have a historic downtown with a bunch of charm, but it has just about everything else you'll need to live your life in a pretty convenient way. Shopping, parks, schools, good infrastructure, and good city services. I'm calling the following suburbs runner-ups for great places to raise a family in 2023. Plymouth came in at number 6, Chanhassen number 7, Victoria, super cute. I love Victoria. Number 8. Number 9 is Edina, and I'm not even going to tell you about number 10 because the 4 that I just mentioned have all been subjects of video profiles that I did in the past, and they are all within reach to commoners. So you should go check those videos out and find out what they have to offer to people that live there. I love talking to people that meet me on YouTube, so I would love to chat with you if you have questions. Oh, and feel free to download my free relocation guide.